Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today you have joined one of the most important and dedicated departments here at Villain RSP, the California Highway Patrol. Today I'll be going over a few things today that is in our standards operating procedures, or SOPs, along with some other things that are not in our standard operating procedures that help with the dedication that you'll be expected to provide here at Villains RP, along with the California Highway Patrol. So let's get into it. Understand, right now I'm going to go over the guide. The guide, this is your SOP. If you get a chance, please do read it. I'm going to go over a lot of things in here, and then I'm going to go over a lot of LEO things. So please stick with me and listening to this video. It's really important that you do. It will help provide adequate service, safety, and security to both the game and real life experience here at the CHP. Alright, a little bit of the preface. Basically the SOP is a day-to-day operations. The idea of this pamphlet is to provide the most adequate service in both role plays and in some cases the CHP will follow the same as a real life experience, or as close to reality as we can. Understand, once you join this department, the SOP is always updates. Understand, if you may not know this, but updates within the SOP are mostly announced, but if they're unannounced, you need to still keep yourself updated up on what we do. It is also to promote professionalism, and professionalism is one of the many standards here we expect here at the CHP. One thing is it'll show a little preface of updates, about 10, like right now here it shows updates and involved accidents known as 1050s, your 1050s, and maneuvering performances and stuff like that, or your PIT, your moving the performance of them, and then involved pursuits, 1080s. Those are important. We'll go over those in the video. Just letting you know that's what this provides so that you understand what it shows. Next one we're going to go is the index. This will show you all where everything's at. Here we go. First one, the position of a trooper. As a trooper, you may know that certain levels of trust has been bestowed upon you, both by your fellow peers and by the public you've sworn to protect. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duties is to preserve mankind, to safeguard life, property, to protect the innocent against the description of the weak, against oppressions and intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or the disorder, and the respect to the constitutional right of them of all liberties, equality, and justice. The idea of this, at the beginning here, it's stating, as a peace officer, you are set to a higher standard above the public. The idea is you're going to be the professionalism. You're going to be the one who runs towards the gunshots when everybody else is running away. You'll be the one running towards the gunshots. You'll be the one running towards the kid drowning in a river, or this kid or the guy drowning in a river, while everyone else is trying to find other ways to save him. You'd be the first one. You are the first responder, and you will be promoting these safe and adequate services to the public. Understand, across the board, many officers will tell you they're not here for the paycheck. They're here because they're here. This has been their duties. This is what they love to do. When you join the CHP, one thing I will say, it's like a brotherhood here. You will be given the best and the worst times of your life right here in this community. You will be given different opportunities that many people don't get, that you should obviously take advantage of to help you proceed and move along to help protect the people we serve. I will keep my private life unstilled, an example to all. What this means is your work life is your work life, this game life is your game life. Always protect and serve the community as you can. Maintain courageous calm in face of danger, sworn or ridicule. What this means is able to keep a calm, collective voice while still providing in the most stressful of circumstances. Develop a self-resistant and constant mindset and welfare to others. Being able to be honest, fair, and collective to every citizen that you run under. Honesty in those indeed in both personal and official life. Giving yourself dedication both in keeping yourself maintained and caring about your family, and along with giving yourself still a reflecting image to the community that you serve. I will be exemplary in obeying the law of the land and regulations of my department. Following constitutional values, the constitutional rights, following the department's standards, government standards, is important to the California Highway Patrol. And understand this is very important to everyone, that you provide these adequate standards. Professionalism is everything. When you're on the field, professionalism is everything. Whenever I see or hear the confidential nature of the confide to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelations is necessary to perform my duties. Confidentiality is important to the public. Keep things that are not supposed to be in other people's mouths out of their mouths. Providing adequate service and providing the utmost honest answers. I will never act officiously or permitted person feeling prejudice, honesty, or friendship and influence my decision. When you make a decision here at the California Highway Patrol, you're going to notice a lot of things are called what we like to call under officer's discretion. What this means is everything you do is under your discretion. You have to make that decision. Now you have a team that could give you a guided honest points, but at the end of the day you're making the decision. Please make sure that we're not putting anything above the decision. The decision is important. Take honesty and fairness into your making of a decision. There's always a right and wrong in every situation. There's also a wrong and wrong in every situation. There's also a right and right in every situation. Understand that you need to provide that adequate service. There's going to be sometimes here at the California Highway Patrol, you're going to make one mistake. You're going to be like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. That's not right. What you need to know is you always got these supervisors. You got these people to talk to. Always feel free to talk to them. That's what they're here for. With no compromise of crime and with relentlessness prosecuting of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favors, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force of violence, and never accompanying gratuities. What this means is you will not be bribed. You will not be, when you make your decision, no officer is bribed. No officer should be feared. No officer should feel ill or malicious, or no officer should ever have to use a very high rate of force. But what we're trying to explain to you here in this concept of the section is that when you make your decisions, everyone's watching. Everything is publicized today in our modern age. You'll be taken to a higher standard. People are going to make fun of you. They're going to come at you. But remember, we're here to create a duty. Always put the honest, truthful answer above your law. Your decisions above the standards that you have that are being provided, that are not allowed. Make sure you always put your decision above them. No fears, no favors, no ill will, no malice, and no violence when accepting it, or gratitudes, or any gratitudes. I will recognize my badge of my office as a symbol of public faith. It means the public has faith in you. You should have faith in your badge. I accept the public's trust to be held as long as I am true to the ethic of police services. Provide the utmost honest and fair answers when you're a police officer. Honesty is the best policy. Being there for the people who need it is what matters. I will constantly strive to achieve my objective and ideas, dedicate myself before God to choose before God to my chosen profession. Word symbol there. What this means is understand that you are the officer that's going to provide the services. You will provide adequate service and standard service. One thing I do want to point out in there, it says right there, objectives and ideals. Set yourself goals. Be determined when you're here at the CHP to go above and beyond the other officers around you. Even if the other officers look at you and turn their head and say, why did you make that decision? You need to know you have obligation here. You have faith. I will say, when I joined the California Highway Patrol, I joined coming from the LAPD, but I joined the California Highway Patrol as a lieutenant officer. Understand when you're in that badge, when you're in that suit and that uniform, you represent the community that you stand for. Don't ever have to put yourself in a situation where you want to make your department look bad, but understand there's sometimes you're going to feel like everyone around you is wrong and you're right, and you know the best decision, or you know something that's wrong that should be right. Be the officer that makes that change. Responsibilities. As a trooper of the California Highway Patrol, you are expected to do the following: be able to meet the responsibilities of their job duties, which was everything above what we talked about, to be responsible for the actions and accountable for the citizens they serve. Your every action has a consequence. Every consequence has an action. Make sure you be determined when you make your decisions. Be able to set goals for themselves and measure objectives within the time limit that supports the achievement of their goals. Set goals. Be determined. Have faith. If you give a commitment to a citizen, you need to give that commitment. And understand, don't make promises that you can't keep. If you can't keep a promise, don't promise any civilian anything. Just always give them the benefit of the doubt, but don't give them an honest answer if you can't provide it, or with at least some known risk of it. Be aware of the laws and rules that will aid them through the performance of their duties in serving the public. Now, let me point some out. I will provide some of that in the book here today, so don't worry about that part. I will explain that. If you don't know anything about law enforcement, first time ever hearing about law enforcement, we'll go over that today, so don't worry. There's a lot of things I'll be going over that I will provide services to allow you guys to grow and mature off. Be open to individuals and peer improvement. Understand, law enforcement's an open door. People are going to tell you things that you're not going to want to hear. I would know. I've had the same thing. I've heard people criticize me left, right, up, down, and every other direction that I could find. Take that criticism, and if you feel like it's a good piece of information, use it. Now, obviously, it's your higher ups. Listen to your higher ups, because I promise you, they've been in your shoes before. I promise you. Even if you got that one civilian that wants to call every 1071, which is a supervisor, understand it's okay to make mistakes. Just don't make the same mistake twice. That's what I say a lot. But another thing is, when you get pulled over, or when you're pulling over someone, they ask for 1071. My best decision, I tell every officer, is, hey, when someone asks for 1071, you say, all right, my 1071 is on his way, and you step away, go back to your vehicle, don't say anything. If you argue with him, it's going to make it worse. And then he can wait until your 1071 gets there, and I promise you, your supervisor will know exactly what you're looking for. Be able to direct problems and be capable of making decisions in response to those issues. For every problem, there's a solution. For every solution, there's a problem. Find a way to answers to problems that have multiple outcomes. If it comes down to it and you only have one determined outcome, you got to do what you got to do. But make sure you make a good, faithful decision that you know is the right one. Be open and willing to enhance their level of knowledge, training, and education. I'll tell you right now, a lot of people don't know. You're going to learn a lot of these people some people won't know a lot about law enforcement. A lot of people are going to know a lot about law enforcement, especially civilians, especially officers. Be open to learning. Always back up their information, make sure it's correct, but if it is correct, always provide that in your services. Provide excellent, adequate standards when you're here at the California Highway Patrol. Respectability. All troopers of the California Highway Patrol must understand the services and primary purpose of our profession. Understand what California Highway Patrol does, their standards, and their motto. What I mean by this is, California Highway Patrol is here to protect and serve the community. Protect, serve, and safety. If one of those three are violated, you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Make sure we're doing all three every time, every scene, everywhere. Understand everybody has a reasoning, everybody has a voice. Now excuse me as I open up a soda. Next part, exhibit the compassionate of responsive attitude towards the community and express genuine desire to satisfy the need of the citizens of the state. What this means is, and I know how to say it, put on a show face, I call it. Some people, you're going to roll up on a scene and some people are sitting there dead on the ground, unconscious. You're going to need to help them. There's some people that are so scared for their lives, you need to help them. You still have to act professional while you do it. I say put on that face, saying yes. How I would say is, let's say you rolled up on a scene and a lady's getting hit by her husband. First thing is you break up that fight and you work with the lady or the guy. Let's say the guy was getting hit or the lady was getting hit, one or the other, it doesn't matter. You go to he or she, you say, hey, are you okay? Do you need medical treatment? We're here to help, okay? What's wrong? And then go over it and say, and then don't ask questions right away. Be like, hey, are you okay? Are you gonna be all right? Do you need medical treatment? Okay. If you're gonna be all right, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Okay, is that all right? Going over with the tone of voice as well. I always say this, and the California Highway Patrol is gonna say this a lot. There's the most powerful tool and weapon you have is your voice. Please understand your voice is very, very important in every situation. It's the most powerful weapon you have. If you come up on those scenes and start yelling at them, you're escalating. You want to de-escalate the situation by providing adequate service and understanding where you need to move from there, okay? So providing that primary professionalism along with that compassion towards the civilian's attitude to provide the best service you can. We're not going to be able to always provide the best standards, but do your best shot too. Understand the community support will result when trust and confidence is established within our community. The California Highway Patrol has a great representation with the community it revolves around. Please be one of those officers that is here to make our community, our department, and establish a community ground. We're providing the best of service to the people around us, and let's make sure we're providing the most adequate service around. The Commissioner Office's goals. This is important. I recommend it. 1 second. Fresh. Now back to my point. The California Highway Patrol and each trooper will strive to do the following. Provide the best service, safety, and security. Like I said, safety, service, and security. Most important three in the book to all citizens of the California. What this means is, and that's where we are right here. We're right here if you can't see. Provide the best services, safety, and security to all California citizens. Provide public service with professionalism, empathy, and integrity. We're here to make it go. We're here to make a difference. Please, please, please understand, as a trooper, you are here to make a difference in the community and provide the most adequate service you can bring. I know I say it a lot. You're going to hear it a lot still, but that's the point of the California Highway Patrol, is adequate, dedicated service. You can make any situation being as boring as possible, and I'm being honest with you, if we're going to be advocate here, you can make any role play be the most bland role play you can, or you can make it something everyone's going to remember and want you to be a part of. Only you. I've had places where I've had civilians come up to me and say they want me to take care of them for the rest of their lives, even though we're supposed to protect all. You want to be that officer that they say, hey, that's a good officer. Hey, that's a good officer. I remember rolling up on scenes and civilians remember my name because I've helped them before. Remember, provide That's the officer I want to be there when I'm in the stick. Provide that service because they know you're fair, you're honest, and you're loyal. Identify areas in which public safety can be enhanced. Please understand, if there is an issue to our roadways, to our infrastructure, to our facility, you need to report it immediately. If you find and this is another one, if you find an issue to any of the vehicles you drive in, the guns you are secured with, or the tools you use in your vehicles, please report it to your commissioners, to your abovs. Another thing is, also while on the roads, if you see something that we have never addressed here at the California Highway Patrol, don't ever be scared to go to your commissioner or go to any of your commissioners or any of your supervisors and notify them about it. We're here to grow and advance. I'll tell you, the Constitution does not cover everything. It really does not. And to understand that in greatest terms, we're to provide adequate service and enhance our services. So understand, if you find something that we have never trained on before, what you think might be a good idea to train on, please don't be afraid to talk to your supervisors. Be leaders and responsible and accountability by organizing maximum effort towards reaching the commissioner's mission. This goal right here, these top missions that you're hearing, all 7 of them, you should be on top of this like butter and rice. I know I say that a lot, but you're gonna hear me. Provide that responsibility and that accountability to ultimately maximize your effort. Please understand, this is important. We serve the community because the community will serve us. Understand that. You serve the community because the community is going to know you. Be the officer the community wants you to be at. Treat all citizens and peers fair and equal manner without prejudice, bias towards race, gender, religion, physical or mental disability, or sexual orientation. Understand, they call don't judge a book by its cover. Literally, do not judge a book by its cover. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to learn that in the California Highway Patrol. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a person by a person. Never judge a person by its physical acts. There we go. Treat them like they're supposed to be treated. Treat them how they're supposed to be. Not because of what they are, who they are, where they're from, or why they're from. Here at the California Highway Patrol, that's important. Equal and fair services to all. There's a reason why it says equal and fair manners without prejudice or bias. This is important because, one, you're representing the community. You're also representing us, the California Highway Patrol. When you're representing us, you're providing that we are going to be there for everyone, and we want to. Every officer in this California Highway Patrol make a commitment to providing the most adequate services, and you will make that commitment too. And understand, when we make those decisions, we need to make the right decisions. All right. Reduce crime, make roads safe, and provide assistance to the public in the utmost manner. Sometimes you're going to do 1080s, you're going to do 1070s, which 1080s are high speed pursuits, and 1080s or 1070s are just foot pursuits. Yeah, you're going to do that a lot, but there's a bigger section of this department that we cover the most that many people don't realize. It's the other services. EMS, medical, providing medical assistance, any way, shape, or form, providing assistance to the public, even if they're asking where the simple grocery store is at, you're providing services. Please make sure you represent those services. Treat them, every single one, the same you would. Hi, how are you doing today? My name is Lieutenant Russell with the California Highway Patrol. How may I help you today? Or hi, how can we help you today? Oh, okay, let me take care of this for you. Here, you want to do this? Are you going to be able to get there? Do you need a ride? We can call a taxi. Ooh, that's what I mean. Providing the service. Sir, were you hurt? Do you need a medical attention? Are you okay? Remember, I put it in 3 steps when you come on a scene. Always make sure if they need medical. Medical's always, that's a priority because the life-saving treatment is right there. Then we move into our things, because our California Highway Patrol standards, medical's always first. If someone got hit by a car, you should be treating medical. But if someone gets clipped by a car, you should be, sir, do you need medical attention? We can get an ambulance out here and offer services. Hey, you want any EMS? We can get you EMS out here. Do you need anything else? Like, we can get you water or anything? Like, provide those services. Utilize the available technology to meet the demands of the citizens you serve. Understand? You have a lot of tools under your belt. I'm going to show you all those tools in this video today, or in the next video at least. It will provide you with the best adequate services that you will ever need while performing here at the California Highway Patrol. Dedication. Oh, excuse me. The section is called Fundamentals of Law Enforcement. Now, I'm just going to go quickly over these because this is easy. Dedication. Some of the things they ask for: obtain goals for yourself. Expect the highest potential for striving in individuals, objects, and putting forth a maximum effort. They are expected to have pride in themselves and take ownership and responsibility for the passion of your work. Please, please, please understand, when you're with the California Highway Patrol, when you join, you're joining to make a commitment. And this commitment is this dedication that you provide. I mean, every day I get on the clock, or when I get on the clock, I'm there and I'm dedicated. I'm making sure I give everybody the most adequate service I can provide, and hopefully you guys will do the same. I know a lot of California Highway Patrols do. Please provide the most adequate services. The California Highway Patrols value in innovation from all levels. As CHP activity sets goals and keeps pace with the latest method and technology, through our continuous training courses, all troopers must understand the importance of creating an environment with the peers and encourage innovation, creativity through input and participation. Your opinion matters. Please, please, please understand that your opinion matters. If you have an idea that's really cool, always talk to your supervisor above, or even go to the commissioners. Remember chain of command, but obviously if you have a good idea, go to your supervisors. Another thing is, we do have a lot of technology. Radars, we have our high-speed response units, and we have high-speed units. Understand, we're here to provide those services with those adequates, with those tools that we need. All troopers of the California Highway Patrol must understand that it will be expected for all troopers of the California Highway Patrol will lead by example. You're the leaders. Be the example leaders that we expect. And will and assist any agency. What I mean that is LAPD, LASD, CHP, or any of federal things. CHP still provides. You're still there to help them. Until they said they're all good, you're still to provide services. If you see something wrong and you see an LAPD officer under distress, you still respond. Everybody wears the uniform. Every brother is in blue. Every sister is in blue. It's a pack, it's a brotherhood. That's what I like to call it. It's a sisterhood. Understand? Provide the services. Provide. It doesn't. If your brother and sister in a uniform is in distress, your brother and sister in uniform is now your priority. Take care of them. We must recognize that the corporatization of all law enforcement agencies is critical for effectiveness, efficiency, and response to law enforcement. Responsive to law enforcement. Everybody plays a part. If you don't help, it just messes up those parts. Please make sure we provide them. Integrity. Understand that the integrity of law enforcement must never be compromised. Provide, provide, provide as much as you can. To the last minute you're on scene. Always be professional. Always be secured. Always be dedicated. You don't want to get 1090, 1091, and 1093, which are all patrol kicks. I promise you. Provide the best service you can with the honest integrity. Be honest with your answers. We'll figure it. Alright, it's better for me to show this part, the use of force. So this is the important section of the video I want to point out, which I'm going to cut over to this part of the thing, which is a part of that, and it's the use of forces. So we're just going to, right here, this is a responsibility that says LAPD, but we're not LAPD, but this provides that services. Forces. So there's two types of forces. There's lethal force and there's non-lethal force. These are the two forces at the time. Lethal force should be the last resort of any officer. The only time you should use lethal force is when a suspect is a deadly threat to the officer or civilian. If you come across a deadly force, fires 2 shots at the center of the suspect. If the suspect still poses a deadly threat, continue to fire 2 more shots until the suspect is no longer posing a deadly threat. Now, there's a reason I need to explain this. It doesn't say until the suspect's dead. This is why. Your lethal force is only used to stop the threat, not to kill the person. Understand, if you shoot him after he doesn't pose a threat, it's called overkill. It is a charge. Actually, it's a felony. It's called overkilling, which means you had a passion to kill him. Understand, you're to put 2 shots. If he doesn't go down and he's still shooting, 2 more shots. But the idea of this whole lethal force is to understand that you're not there to kill him. You're here to stop the threat. Once you've stopped it and everybody's around you's okay, treat him. Okay? Non-lethal force intends to be less likely to kill a living target, which tends to be like your tasers and stuff. Alright, so here's the 5 levels of the UOF, which is your use of force, ranging from officer presence or professional to, officer present, professional. So if you look on the side here, it says compliant and cooperative control. You have it controlled, you have it compliant. Understand, you can go up and you can go down on this thing. Risk of pursuit. The use of force was developed by Dr. Franklin Graves, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and Professor George J. Graves, the University of Illinois Police Training Institute, in 1997, and all their copyrights. But here it is. So the person's being compliant, cooperative control. Give them a little leeway. Okay, sir, so you're being very cooperative today. Why don't I'm gonna just have you step out of the vehicle real quick. I'm not gonna put cuffs on you. I'm just gonna search you if you have anything on you. Okay? Let's say they're in the car and they start yelling at you. This is called resistance. It's a verbal command. So you got officer present, right? Which is the blue. Now you're going into verbal commands. You tell them, all right, sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle, please. Still offer that, still adequate services, but if they don't, obviously. So let's say they're kind of cooperating, but they're not. Like they're like, well, why are you stopping me? Well, you know, I'll ask them questions. Verbal command. Sir, can you please just stand back to me and let me cuff you, or let me talk to you real quick? Okay. Soft hand technique. This is usually like grabbing of the shoulder or grabbing of the arm. Sir, please, I need you to listen to me, okay? After you've gone through these other steps, though, remember, don't start grabbing a suspect. Officer present, tell him, hey, are you okay? Professional, tactic, and then threshold. He's being a little resistive, active. What I mean is he's trying to he's moving away from you, kind of thing. You got to get a hand on him. Soft hand. And what I mean is just maybe grab his hand or his arm. Then you got hard techniques, which are these. Suspect keeps walking away, he keeps not saying things, so you got to keep a hold of him. And then your last one is lethal force. Lethal force should only be used if the suspect is endangering a civilian or yourself. It should only be used once on a person and not multiple, unless the suspect is still able to hurt other people around them. When you are attempting to use a taser on a suspect, this is an important part. So this is your hard techniques. Use a taser on a suspect. You must tell them that they have to stop. Give them a warning. Say, hey sir, stop or you're going to be tased. If they don't listen, they still keep running or they still pose a threat, yell tase 5 times, pull the trigger and wait 5 seconds, then go in for the cuff. Okay? Do not let an officer grab the body, it'll tase them. If the person is unfazed by the taser, then proceed with the levels of force. Try to tase them once. If they don't do it, tase them again. If that doesn't work, proceed to more adequate. So you'll see some of the guns you'll see some of the things. It really depends on the department. So let's use that. So like it said here, cooperative control. Okay, they're being light. Contact control. Sir, please understand. Compliance techniques. Sir, I need you to step over here now. Defensive techniques. Sir, I need you to come over here now, please. This is where they're going to provide more bodily harm. They're going to try to hurt you. Tasers, batons, your beanbag shotgun is considered lethal, but it's considered less lethal, but you wouldn't use it unless he's trying to like run away and you can get to it. Then you have your deadly force, which is your lethal, seriously bodily harm or death. He's trying to commit a crime. He's trying to hurt. Lethal, harmful, threshold, tactic, professional. Professional is normal. Hey, he's working with you. Tactics, he's kind of working with me, but he ain't. He's really confused. Threshold is nah. He's on the middle ground. Harmful is like no. He's looking for killing, and then lethal is he's gonna kill me, kind of thing. All right, next one. Purpose of the use of force continuum. The use of force continuum allows the officer to be able to be one step ahead of the suspect of an action or aggression. The use of force continuum was implemented to justify the amount of force necessary to resolve an incident with minimum harm to the subject while maintaining officer safety. So while a subject is being combative, the officer can remain in control by using the level of force of the UFO continuum. Or UOF, excuse me. I said UFO. So what that means is, and I state, let's say the suspect has, I don't know, a taser, right? You're going to have one officer with a lethal, one officer with a less lethal. It's just you, it's going to be a lethal. Okay? Let's say the suspect has a baseball bat. Taser, if you feel very more threatened, like it has nails on it or something, maybe a gun. Yeah, let's say the suspect has a gun. I would definitely be using, if I can get to my AR, get my AR. If I can't get to my AR, my commission rifle, my commissioner handgun. Use that. Understand it's you go plus one. You go one above him in the rules. So if he has a taser out and he's pointing it at you, you better you have your lethal out. Or if you want to try to be scary, you can use your gun or taser. It's really, like I said, lethal force is up to officers. It's not up to the people in the RTO. It's not up to anybody. It's up to you, because you're going to be answering the calls. If you come across a situation where the suspect is being non-compliant, it's necessary to use of taser. Like I said before, you're going to yell out loud that hey, stop, or I'll tase you. Then you're going to come back. You're going to go tase, and then shoot the taser. Remember, you need to notify them RTO. Say taser deployed, suspect is down. To use taser, you own tase. You must feel the effect of the tasers. That'll happen in training if you do get that type of training. The use of lethal force. Lethal force is not to kill, it's to stop. Like I state there, lethal force is not to kill, it's to stop. Many people think it's just to kill. Lethal force should be the last resort in any suspect, and if you do it, it's to stop, not to kill. I can't make that more thing. We'll go over that in a minute. Okay. So let's go back to the handbook. So like I just said, less than lethal option. So it's escalations are what you're gonna go. So no force, moderate, limited force, less lethal forces, which it'll state here. And I recommend you want to de-escalate all the time. You don't want to escalate a situation. Leave escalations to your SWATs and your special response units. Don't ever be the hero in a situation. Try to escalate them to go to a higher thing. De-escalate. If let's say they want to compromise with them, kind of thing. But don't be too compromised. They're gonna think you're weak and try to go after you. Now, I recommend reading these sections because this is important. I'm just going to go over this is the 3 stages. Less lethal is basically explaining, like I say here, and that's usually the weapons I'll say though is your combat pistol, your combat rifle, and your combat shotgun. Shotgun is used for HRU. The other one is your baton, your mace, and your taser. Stun gun, ASP, your baton, and your mace, and then the other one is your voice and your hands. Chain of command. Let's go over the chain of command. So you are right now here. Boop. You will be, once you get your training done and you get all your ride-alongs done, you'll be moved to here. Then after that, once you be promoted by an officer, you'll be promoted from trooper to master trooper, and then here we go. Supervisor in training. Supervisors in trainings are not supervisors. They're in training. That's why it says in training. Corporals are not supervisors. Supervisors are sergeants. Lieutenants and captains are field command. Those are your people you want to go to if there's an issue on the field. Sergeants will go to field command if needed. Majors and commanders are your divisional commands. Then you got your 5. You got your head 5, which we call the O5. You got your commissioner, deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner, chief, and assistant chief. Okay, bolded ranks indicate chain of command. So if you have a problem at these 2 ranks, you should go to corporal first. Then if you feel like if it's an issue within the corporal thing, like something's wrong with one of the corporals, go to sergeant. It's okay to skip the rank, but I understand that's what you're doing here. That's what it'll demonstrate here. Chain of command, always follow chain of command, or it will result in consequences. So if you're a trooper and there's an issue, you go to corporal. If corporal can't figure it out, they'll go to sergeant. If sergeant can't figure it out, it'll go to lieutenant or captain. It'll go, and then the captain will go to major. Major will go to commander. And let's say they can't figure it out at the commander stage. So help me God, they're going to go right up to the assistant chiefs and talk amongst the O5. If they can't figure it out, you're pretty much done for. You ain't going to find an answer for it that they can't provide, which I promise you will be no questions you have. They'll always find an answer to your solutions. Vehicle and rank structure. Now, this will be over the training part. I'll go over this a lot. Just understand one thing about vehicles. We've noticed a lot of probies like to use both the visor lights and the bar light. Remember, it's only the bar light, not the visor. The visor is for sergeant, or excuse me, it's lieutenant plus, and that's for unmarked vehicles and for marked units, but like to be undercover kind of thing. Sorry, my bad. You'll get the PEDs once you join the training. They'll teach you how to get the PEDs. That's easy. You'll go to /EUP enter, and then go to California Highway Patrol. It's going to be Class C uniform, male or female if you're a female. Trooper active in a subdivision. You can always join the subdivision. Let me go to the roster here, which is right here, which is the villain roster. I call this the master roster because this basically is everything you need. So here's the California Highway Patrol. The following officers here are your assistant commissioners. These are the head of the administration. Then you have your division command, which is right here. These are your commanders and your majors. You have your captains. You have your lieutenants, which I'm right there. I'm Russell S. If you want to know who I am, to King 29 Russell S. Then you got your sergeants. And don't be afraid. I want to point that out. If you ever want to know more about law enforcement or want to do anything else, law enforcement, or you feel scared to be in the field and you want to help, don't be afraid to come to one of the lieutenants, one of the captains, one of the sergeants, or even me. You can come to me directly and talk to me about it, and we can have a discussion over it. These are your FTOs. These are the people that are field training officers. Okay, see where it says FTO? That's the important part there. Then you got your FTP leads, which is your field training. My bad. It's got that wrong. Basically, your field training program, and then your program heads. So then you got your FTOs. The FTAs are the people who are your assistants, field training assistants. Then you pretty much sit here at master troopers. Then you got your probationary and cadet, and it goes down from there. These are your auxiliaries. These are your extras that we offer assistance with. They help with all that. That's all your thing. Now, there's a few things I want to explain about this map that's very important, and I'll go over. Everything within the California Highway Patrol, when you get up to supervisor and training, is based off FTP points, and that's your field training program points. That's pretty much what it is. Notes, if you ever have a note next to you, please read those notes and follow them. Latest promotion and date of hire, remember that. You have your strikes, which you have up to 3 strikes. And then, 3 strikes, you're out at the old... No, I'm playing you. Your duties, so you got head supervisor, head of field operations, head of field training, commanding supervisor, senior supervisors. You got all that. You got your call signs that are all down here. If you ever need to look for a call sign, it's right there. And you got your insignias, which are your rank badge, like that goes on your uniform. That's what those are. Alright, so we're going to go from here. And we're going to move on to, let me show you some things, why we're here. Might as well, right? You got your subdivisions. So HRU, which is your Highway Response Unit. You got your Internal Affairs, or your IA. These are the people that you don't want to meet if you want to ever meet them. Air Operations is your Air Command. These are your Traffic Enforcement Units, your TEU, which is basically your traffic, High-speed pursuit units are right here. People who are certified high-speed pursuit. This is really a thing like traffic enforcement and all-purpose vehicles training, dual-purpose MBUs, stuff like that. Communication division, which I'm right here. We don't see too much of it, but you'll see a lot of it once we go moving forward. The State of California Gang Warden Division, the GWD. Do you understand the Gang Warden Division is a new subdivision that actually is being very well effective? I recommend it. It's Wildlife Rangers, Wildlife Supervisor, Gang Warden, State Warden, and Warden. Like I said, your highway response unit. There I am. I definitely recommend it. If you get an opportunity to join the HRU, please don't be afraid to join. I think I've always enjoyed it here. I recommend you'll enjoy it here. Please do have fun if you do. Here's the rank requirements for them. Air Ops is Trooper, Communications is Trooper, TEU is Trooper, Corporal Plus, IA is Lieutenant, and then Warden, which is MT. Okay. There's all the SOPs. If you want to read them, I recommend reading them. If you have time, please do. They're kind of very important, and they have a lot to talk about law enforcement. Car rank structure. So as a probationary, you'll be driving the Crown Vic, which you'll have fun with, I promise you. Here's some of the rules. You can't drive a rank car that is below your rank. Do understand there's something called mass patrols. If you ever get to do them, I don't know if California Highway does them. I know we did back in LAPD, but if there is a mass patrol, you can drive any vehicle on the roster that you have. Keep rims realistic, the black hole with the hole, or at least something that's black. I usually keep it at. You may have a light visor or a light bar. So the visors are only for, I would say, corporals plus. So you could have the light bar though. No window tint is allowed on marked vehicles. Understand that part? Unmarked cars may be dark blue, black if you ever get that, and then the ratio to unmarked to marked vehicles is 3 to 1. 3 marked vehicles for every 1 unmarked unit. And then uniforms, which, like I said, Class C with high visor vests. You will have to wear the vest until you complete the training. Alright, and then the other rosters are here. Another thing I do want to state, and many people don't know about this, is at the very back of this list there's something called the 10 codes. I recommend reading them. It literally shows you every 10 code for the California Highway Patrol. Codes signal 100, signal 60, and signal 11. Code 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6. I don't know why that's there. Fire and rescue, blue, red, if you ever need to know that. Miranda rights. Please understand, this is important. Every scene, every crime scene, if you're arresting someone, you don't have to arrest them unless you're asking questions. But if you're asking questions, understand it's this. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you by the state. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? Do you have any questions at this time? That's pretty, there you go. Back to my point. Then here's the phonotypic alphabet if you get a chance to do it. So how this works is, if we had dispatch, it really works. But if, let's say, you're giving out a location, show us it's going to be at Lima, Kilo, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Echo, Foxtrot, like that. It's pretty much like you just use it. Here it tells you all the major ones that you will see. I recommend it. We don't really have that. That's classified. So we're gonna go back here. Excuse me as I scroll back, and then we're back to the roster. Right now there's 59 people in the department. I recommend, if you want to help with us, we are trying to get as many people to understand how important California Highway Patrol is. So please do understand that. Alright, so that's how that works. Weapon structure. Understand all troopers have the baton, the taser. You'll learn this in trade: service pistol and duty belt, which you'll be showed. The M4 semi-automatic. Semi-automatic, remember that. Semi-automatic. You can't have automatic. Alright. Good. We went over all the subdivisions. I recommend looking into this if you really want to know more about it. And then just looking here. Promotions and demotions. Please, one thing I'll tell you this now, don't ask for a promotion, because if you ask for a promotion, you most likely will never get it. Alright, supervisors determine the moderate troopers and report them to their higher rank supervisors. So in order to get promoted, do your job correctly and efficiently. I'll tell you that right now. I'll give you a hint. You're not asked for a promotion. Ask for a promotion will lead to a demotion or disciplinary action. So understand, being active, demonstrating professionalism, and being ability as a trooper will get you promoted. I promise you. Many officers in our department have earned their title, and some being in some subdivisions really help with that too. I recommend joining subdivision. And subdivision promotions are up to the subdivision leaders. Demotions: the department heads have the right to demote any trooper if the above policies, but broken. Department heads have the right to demote if they have meet the said standards. So there you go. Pretty much follow your commitment there. All right, before we hit these final notes, I want to go over a little bit of LEO stuff here. So many people don't know. We're going to go over a few things. So here, community as an officer. Some of the commands that you're going to be using, I'm going to let you know them now. They're going to teach you in training. Don't worry. Do not jail someone without a reasoning. Please understand where it says chain or charge of crime. You can put a slight note in there, but I recommend putting the note of why you're charging them. Their unit user number, which is the head number above their head, and the time that in seconds. So you'll do /jail 126 time. It's gonna be time in minutes. It's not seconds. Time. Let's no more than 30 minutes. It's never more than 30 minutes. So let's say 5 minutes. So 5 years in jail is what it is. Charge of the crime, reckless driving. Do not get LEO cars and bikes that are not your rank or not allowed to drive them unless it's mass patrol, and that's up to the mass patrol thing. Understand that's how jail works. Now there's something called /ticket. So you'll do /ticket, the username, which will be 126, the amount, which we do not go above 3,000, and then you can put a little note to ticket them for. And when you ticket them, remember when you go up to the window, say, this is not an admission to go, this is just saying you'll meet the court date and pay the fine, kind of thing. Do not get in my bad, I already read that one. Do not take out an M4 without going back to your vehicle inside. So I call this, don't pull it out basically pull it out your shirt. You don't have a gun, you don't have an AK stuffed down your shirt. You don't have a shotgun stuffed down your back. You go back to your trunk, you do /trunk, and then you do /me. So do /trunk, it'll open your trunk. Do /me, gets AR, gets a shotgun, and pulls it out. Do not hang around the police stations unless asked to. Most of the time, supervisors will ask you to stay. There's a lot of people on, you just want to be at the station answering phone calls, that's fine. But understand, if someone asks you to get on patrol, please. Do not abuse the authority hold to you as being an officer. I can't make this more stressed. You represent the community. Please, please, please represent the community with the standards that we provide. +1 rule. At any point in time, ooh, I'm moving it. At any time you are called to a situation and only 3 people are visibly away, act as there's another person hiding. So if there's 3 people in the car, consider it 4 people. I recommend 1032s, which are, and I quote, 1032s are backup. This is just in case if you do not follow this rule. What it means, really, I recommend the +1 rule is not really used that much in California highway patrol, but understand it's a very safe, effective way. If you see 4 people in the back of a vehicle, I'd be calling at least another backup. That kind of thing. Make best judgments while you do it. We went over lethal force. Code of responses. Code 0, game crash. Can't make that any simpler. Code 0, game crash. Code 1 is normal response. Show to King 21 back code 1, which basically following all the traffic laws and stuff, you can drive over 15 miles, 5 miles over the speed limit, 10 miles over the speed limit. What this means is be safe. It's just, you're not responding to an officer getting shot at 24/7. You're just responding to your closest nearest unit that just needed maybe a traffic stop, right? That's code 1. Code 2, okay, we're dealing with a little soon. Let's say 24/7 ladies getting hit outside the 24/7. You're running through intersections with a little bit of lights, or you have your lights going, you blare your sirens a few times through intersections, and then going through. Code 2 should only be used and going over a little bit, about 20 miles an hour over. Understand, code 2 responses are really not priority. They say priority to code 2. I'll explain priorities too. Excuse me. So the idea of this is when approaching code 2, you will run your lights and you'll have your lights going, but your siren blare through intersections. Please understand, you can go a little bit over the speed limit, but not too much. Try not to be, obviously, protect the public, protect you. A dead body tracks more dead bodies. Understand that. When you're going in for a situation, always make sure it's safe and efficient. Code 3. Code 3 is about the most important one you need. This is the situation that has turned into a life or death situation. Let's say someone's robbing 24/7, has him at gunpoint. Code 3. Understand you can go max over 35 miles an hour if you're really responding. Lights and sirens all the way, blowing through intersections. Slow down at intersections so you don't knock anyone out. Understand there's one called Signal 100. When Code 3 is in effect, and it's a really bad one, Signal 100 will be initiated. Signal 100 is basically when all traffic radio communication is silent, and only the main priority, which priority is the main issue, basically the main thing, is the only thing that's allowed to talk between them. Only dispatch and high-ranking members of that department can issue a Signal 100. Actually, every officer can issue a Signal 100. My bad. Let me rephrase that. Every officer can issue a Signal 100. It just needs to be validated. Understand, this is basically, you'll hear it over radio. Someone will say, Signal 100 is in effect. All remaining traffic transmission, please be on standby until after priority. And then do priority. Radio communication. This is important. Controllers use... you don't really have dispatch, but if you did 10-11s, make sure you're calling out your things. I'm going to show you how to do self-dispatching too, so that we can go over it. Radio communications. This is all, like I said, Signal 100. While Signal 100 is in effect, do not transmit over the radio for any reasons unless it's an extreme emergency. Like, I mean, it's a part of the prior, or it's something like you're being shot at, kind of thing. Some common radio communication mistakes, and I'll go over them. Be sure dispatch knows what you're doing. If dispatch is on, it's alright. Common mistake, code 0. If you just say code 0 in RTO, I promise you it's not going to help nobody. You say your unit 2 King 29, show me code 0 at this time. Nearest postal this. You can make it as detailed as you want or as simple as you want, but make sure you put your call sign. Your call sign is proper. You need to make sure your call sign is in front of everything you do when you're self-dispatching. Now, if you're being dispatching, it'll be 2 King 29 to dispatch. 2 King 29, go ahead. 2 King 29, show me on a 1011 with a white 4-door sedan. Occupant ×2, no additional 1032s needed. Nearest postal 3008 East Joshua Road. Okay, see how easy that is? That's what you should do, and then dispatch will say, please stand by, or be on hold, kind of thing. Please make sure you're in CAD. CAD is important. Also, be in Teamspeak when you're in CAD. So understand, do not yell or scream in the RTO. I promise you, if you yell and scream, you're going to be a 1090, which is a slap on the wrist, but you don't want to get kicked from your patrol. Be in CAD. CAD is the biggest thing you need. It shows you everything you need to know, and I'll explain the CAD in just a few. So basically, go over proper self-dispatching. Always put your call sign, should 2 King 29 on a 1011 with a black 2-door sedan, or if you're going to, and that's for everything. Make sure, should 2 King 29 going 1041 10-8, which 1041 10-8 is going on marked. It's going on duty, starting tour. Make sure we follow that. All right, priority calls. I'll go over CAD in just a minute. Priority 1, priority 2. So priority 2 is there's a kind of a threat to life, but it could be a potential threat to life. Does that make sense? In priority 1, which this looks like a lot, and you can read it and stop the video and read all these sections, but priority 1 is a threat to life exists. Immediate threat to life exists. So what this means is, so when someone says priority show 3 Lincoln 20 or 2 King 29 responding priority 1 code 3, I'm full lights and sirens, and I'm responding to a threat to a life at that time. Okay, so remember that. Priority 1, priority 2. Please try to call out your priorities when you do it. So code 2, priority 2. That's important. Radio communication, signal 100 effect unless in extreme emergencies. We got over that. We went over that. Communication rules with an officer. You're all good there. Miranda rights. Please understand. Read your Miranda rights. You can read it when you're at the station, parked in the parking lot, or at the scene. That's fine. But before you book them or ask questions, please read them as Miranda right. Unless if you're asking questions. If you're not, then it makes a difference. When pitting, get to the now pitting pursuits. This is all pursuits. So pursuits is 1080. So let me go over this. Pursuits are 1080s. Can't make that any more clear. What this is there's 3 basic things you need to know about a pursuit that is important: the pitting, the boxing, and a code 5 stop of a suspect. Pitting: when pitting on a vehicle, which is taking the front of your vehicle and slamming it into the side of the one of the left or the right taillights of the car, understand there's a little bit of a situation. It needs to be under 100 miles an hour. So understand this: if you're going to pit, it needs to be under 100 miles an hour. Your pit timer expired, which is 2 minutes, and it is safe road conditions. Nobody's going to be hurt. If it's raining, no. If it is a ton of cars, no. So what it does is you're going to pit the side of the vehicle. It's going to spin out and basically cause the car to stop. Once you do the pitting, you're boxing right after that. Once the car is in front and one's in the back, and then 2 extra units will be on the sides. Box the car and can't drive off if you box it. What this means is as soon as it spins out and you are able to regain control of your vehicle, box that baby in. Even if you tap it, box it in. This is important. If you don't do this, he can drive away again if the vehicle is still able to drive. Code 5 of a suspect: you want additional 1032s, at least 3 officers. 1, as the cars were parked, and in the next video it'll explain it. There's going to be a car in front, 1 in behind it, and then 2 off to the side blocking off the next lane of traffic. I'll show that in the video. But basically what the code 5 is this is a felony stop. So what you're doing is you're going to be telling the suspect to get out of his vehicle, put his hands up, and pretty much arresting him for the code. This is a little bit of a picture. It's a very blank picture, but I'll show a real one. But you would basically, if you were on the side of the road here, you would have, actually it'd be like, let me move the picture over a little bit. Oh, okay, that's not the picture. Go figure, right? Let me delete that real quick. Boop. All right. Oh, it doesn't move. Okay. So yeah, this would all be on the side of the road if you could get it. Now, if it's in the middle of the road, then you do it from there. But I'll explain that later. You will learn normal traffic stops and stuff. You'll learn that V formation and all that. You'll learn that all in the training. This is not, don't worry about this part, but this is important. Your phonotypic alphabet. The phonotypic alphabet is clear communications between the dispatch and the officer if you ever do it. Understand your 10 codes. If you don't know them, it's okay. But understand it's better to know them and get them down than to not know. Okay, so please understand that. Try to do your best at that and learning that. Alrighty, that goes for all this. Now let me show you CAD. This is our CAD. So what you'll do is you sign in and you'll come up to this. You won't have police, you won't have dispatch. You need to request that from your higher rank supervisors, and they can get you, or make a ticket and have them give you one. There's the Discord and the website. I recommend, if you haven't been on those 2, please look at them. If you're not in the Discord, please get in the Discord and come to Teamspeak. I'll show you even Teamspeak as well. You won't have this one unless you're a dispatcher, but police. So you'll enter in, you'll come into the police. It'll say Villains RP. You're going to go to the top here, and all this information is not going to be here. So as you can tell, I'm still not updated. So what you want to do is you want to click on that first. So click on your modifier first. You want to go down here and you want to enter in your call sign, which if you're new, it's going to be a 3-digit number. If you're not, you're going to be having this. All right. My name is still Russell S. I'm not a sergeant anymore. I'm a lieutenant. I'm going to just put LT for right now. Status, change it to available. This location, as long as you hook up your thing, which I'll show you in a minute. If you hook up your docs, I'll show you how to do it. You'll be able to not have to change this all the time. So area statewide, the county that I'm in, LA County, not LAPD, but CHP, and subdivision. If I'm running a subdivision, type in the subdivision. Okay, save. Now it updates. Okay, here, if you want to have your address always update, go to settings and go down here and add your API ID. This comes from your Steam, so please add this and save it, and you'll be good to go, and it'll show you where you're driving. You can also change the volume, help improve these translations to English. You can change it there. Panic, lookup, records, busy, unavailable. This is your hotkeys. If you want to use them, go for it. I recommend it. So let me explain a few things. There's something called busy, which is your 10-6, your unavailable, or your available. Okay, I'm gonna close that. Self-dispatch, you're obviously self-dispatching now because there is no dispatcher. So click on the yellow self-dispatch, okay? It's going to show you all of these. So let me explain it. Let me go first here. So on scene and en route means that it'll show in a different roster, which I'll show you. It'll show you on a different thing. But here, this shows you 1023, which is mean on scene. En route means 1097 on scene. 107 or 1042 is unavailable. Available is 1041, 108, and busy is 106. We're gonna go over them. Don't worry, I'm gonna make it even easier for you. Lookup. If you need to look up a name, plate search, identifier, or ID, right here. So look up the person's first name, last name on a traffic stop, and it'll show their record. And there'll be flags across here if anything pops up. And then there's records, and then there's reports. Same thing with plates, same thing with identifiers, and same thing with records. I promise you, when you do a 911 call, it's really easy. So that's how you look up names, plates, identifiers. If you need to look up that, so like if you need to look Los Angeles County, California Highway Patrol Unit to King 29, which I should have one. Let me see if I can find it. To King. Yeah, I gotta find it. 1 second. Let me see. Should have one. There it is. To King 29 Russell. And then you click search. Nothing's gonna come up. I don't have any records. I don't have any reports. But like reports would pop up here, kind of thing. And that identifies your like units, names, your plates, and your name. So you go ahead and take that off, and you're gonna hear like all these things like incoming 911 call and stuff like that. You're gonna hear all these. So next we're gonna move to records. So if you need to look at your records or search up someone, stuff like that, it'll take you back there. New reports, if you will. So incident reports. So when you're making a report, it'll already put all the address here, put the location thing. You're gonna put your civilian's first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, address, sex. So when you fill in their name, like if you put John. Or even better, if you search up their name, let's say John Doe, right? So John Doe, right? Which hopefully there's a name. It'll search it. Oh look, John Doe pops up. All of his information will be put in. Makes your life easier. You don't, if you really want to be extra, you can put all these in. You can put his height, his weight, and stuff like that. You can do that. If he had an ID. If he had an ID, it would be. Who is the OIS, officer involved in the shooting? My bad. Was it an OIS, officer involved shooting? Yes. And now it's going to make an incident report, right? And then a supervisor's signature. If it was not, then this won't be effective. You just observing you put your name and then you put open and then add record. Now my files, and then it'll show you how many records you have. And then new records, arrests, bolos, warrants, all of them are right here. You can create a new one. General citation vehicle, fix-it tickets now. So you can get fix-it tickets, which is the hardest one we've ever had to do. Fix-it tickets last 30 minutes, so please remember to do fix-it. Now there's the record. One incident report, and it's on John Doe. And it'll show you, oh, okay, I wrote him a ticket because of this, and then shot at officers, whatever. Alright, Bolo. These are the active bolos. As you can tell, the system has not been updated, so all of them are out. And there's a lot of active warrants at this time. If you see these names on the warrant or bolo list, or you see these warrants on the warrant list, remember to get yourself involved, add yourself. But also add bolos and warrants if you can. Where I showed you over here in records, you get a new record, you add a bolo. Bolo's done, violent, mentally ill, it'll pop up on the record. Okay, next thing, 10 codes. This is all the 10 codes. So there you go. Report center. Oh, we don't have to worry about that. Then you got, so there's your 10 codes. This is the penal codes, which I recommend. What you do is you take it and you make it like 5, right? And then search up. So let's say it's evasion, right? There you go. Evading police. Felony. $1,000. Done. So you just use the search bar. Everything's search bar if you make your life easier. There's also a game. Also, I'll show you how to use the CAD in game. There's a way to do it. I'll show you how to do it. Penal codes. We did that. 10 codes also work the same way. Just look for the 10 codes. Foot pursuits, all that. I recommend reading a little bit of this when you do it. Do a little bit of testing on it. Active units tell you what units are active and which ones are not. So as you can tell, you can click status up, down, and it'll tell you all the units online, all the units on scene, busy, or unavailable. Okay. Get emergency calls. This tells you all the 911 calls. Send help to the dealership. You can see them. You can even click on my thing right here, open call in editor, and it'll add the call to you. So you see all this calls right here, call's already done. You add that call status, active, priority 1, you responding, postal, give a postal, primary unit, and then you can add a note from there and then create a call, and then it creates the call. So then you get an emergency call and you're gonna go ahead and respond. So now this button right here is your panic button. Click this when there's an officer. If you're down, you click your panic button in RT here, but you also do BK99 in game. I'll show you that. Signal 100, you do that if you're a self-dispatching, which someone will ask you to do that. Servers, if we had another server, it'd be down here. If you were in server 1 or ESTX, it'll change you to that. All right, this is if you had a new call origin, let's say it was a radio dispatch, call status, active, priority 1 or 2, whatever it'll be, the address, the postal, the call title, the code. So you put the, let's say it was a 10, I picked the wrong one, fight in progress, and then you do that 1010. You pretty much go from there, and then that you can add calls and stuff like that. This CAD's very efficient if you use it right. All right, so that's all of that. We just went over basically the whole framework. Now we're just going to do these. I recommend reading this. This is very important. It's basically a key place to role-playing activity. It's to make yourself more understanding what we're doing here. So please read this. I'm going to stop here. You can stop the video real quick and please read it. It's very important. If anything, if you don't get anything out of this that I just demonstrated to you, please read this. Role-playing, it's very important because remember, you need to know the difference between RPing and not RPing kind of thing. Alright, and always being smart and diligent as an officer. That's all of this today, and I will show you how to do Teamspeak. Actually, I can show you real quick in the video. So this would be the end SOP. I recommend reading a little bit more on the SOP. Now we're going to do a little bit of Teamspeak here. When you join, this is what's going to happen. You're going to open Teamspeak. You're going to connect, right? And you're going to do put in our little thing, which is ts.villainsrp.com. Click connect. Put your call sign though. Remember that. So where it says, let me show you. Put your call sign to King 29 Reso, right? It stopped because I reset it. Now it's going to tell you to join. I'm going to turn off the sound, deactivate. Don't worry about that. Now you're going to see all of this. Okay. Now, the most important one are 2 places. So you don't need to worry about LAPD. You don't need to worry about medical response or this. You don't need to worry about that. This is important right here. These are our top 5 and information rooms right here. Okay. As you can tell, Jay Russell's in his office, but as you can tell, there's all the offices. You can join them, their waiting room, like this, but you can't join their main office, okay? They'll bring you in if they need you. Next thing I need you to know, this is the field training room. For your training, you will be in training room 1, 2, or 3, or in waiting training, okay? Wait there, the instructor will talk to you about getting you trained and everything. There's also all this. This is the meeting room, CHP meeting room. You'll join the waiting for a CHP meeting, and then they'll put you in there. Public safety. So this is for the ESX server. Once we get it, don't worry about that. That's server 2. Server 1 now. There's the RTO for county dispatch and the one for city. Now, if you want to do city, you can. Remember, your CHP. You can do the city or county. There's no jurisdiction. You can help if you feel like this RTO is low, join this RTO. If this RTO is low, join this RTO kind of thing. There's also request a priority if someone's here or waiting for call 911. If you're the only officer on, go to the call 911, say 911, what's your emergency, and talk to them. Staff in game if you need to talk to staff. There's CADOT, which is your California Department of Transportation. That's something else. There's operation channels, are for anybody who's involved in an operation or these channels are compromised kind of thing. There's the civilian rooms, obviously for civilians, and there's pretty much all that. And by joining, you just click on it and join. So AMR and dispatch, if you ever, or EMS dispatch, if you ever need to go to an EMS and they're online, go here, say, hi, I'm 2 King 29, show me, I need a dispatch here and here. Remember, when you do this, you can when you do that, you can provide a description, call sign, everything like that. Then you have all your staff rooms over here, which you really don't need to worry about, and then events, administration, and moderation, all that. So that's pretty much it for that. Really, all you're going to be doing is a lot of RTO things, and I'll go over some RTOs, and I'll explain some others. Alrighty, that will conclude the introductory paperwork side of CHP, the California Highway Patrol. Understand there's a lot more to it. You're going to learn a lot more, but this video did a very general overview of what you'll be seeing. So please don't be afraid to ask any questions to any of your higher rank supervisors, and don't be afraid to speak to me personally, Russell J or S Russell. Russell S, you see this deputy, but I'm Russell S, I'm the lieutenant. Don't be afraid to talk to me about it if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to help you. If you have any more other issues, any of the lieutenants will be happy. Any of the sergeants or corporals will be more than happy to assist you in your road here at the California Highway Patrol. Dedication, education, and priding security and safety and service to the California citizens is important to our duty here. And I want to thank you all for applying for the California Highway Patrol, and we're going to be happy to see you on the roads very shortly. Y'all have a wonderful one. Thank you.